Hi everybody, it's Charity with Mystic Miracles. Today, my video, I'm so excited. Today is about self-love. So, finally, I get to talk about where I wanted to start. So, first I want to start out with my very, very favorite quote, and it's from Rumi the poet. You are more valuable than both heaven and earth. What can I say? You don't know your own worth. That's my very, very, very favorite quote for self-love. And then I wanted to read to you the actual definition. So actually one of the verses in the Bible about love, because how can you love yourself if you don't even know what love is? So I'm going to read that to you. It's 1 Corinthians 13:4-7. Love is patient. Love is kind. Love is not jealous or boastful, or proud or rude. It does not demand its own way. It is not irritable and keeps no record of being wronged. It does not rejoice about injustice, but rejoices whenever the truth wins out. Love never gives up, never loses faith, is always hopeful, and endures every circumstance. So the reason I read that to you is because how can you love yourself without knowing what love is? And how can you love everybody else if you don't know what love is? It's impossible. So, now that you know the true definition, can you say that you love yourself? Can you say that you know your worth? If so, then I'm sincerely happy for you, because that is probably my biggest trial in life, was learning to love myself. So really, I congratulate you if you have gone to that turning point or never had to. So, you know, the reason self-love is so important is, like I say, you can't love others without loving yourself. You can't love the world without loving yourself. And there are so many people that actually, they pass away. They leave this life without having the true self-love, without knowing their true identity and being appreciative of that. So it's super important to me to help everyone I possibly can to get to that step. So, why is it so important to learn to love yourself? And you've probably heard it. I've already said it. You can't love somebody else until you do love yourself. It's just impossible. But it's so true, because how can you know the effort that it takes to love somebody else if you don't even love yourself? How would you know what it feels like if you don't even know what it feels like to love yourself? So it's absolutely impossible to be able to know that feeling. So another reason that I like to say it's important is because of the law of attraction. Remember, like attracts like. So while you're not very kind to yourself, you will attract friends that are also not very kind, either to yourself or to themselves. And usually when you get in with groups of people that are not kind to themselves, they're not very kind to you either. Trust me, I've been there, done that very many times actually. So that puts you in a lot of trouble. It puts you into a lot of heartache. It puts you into a lot of obstacles that don't even need to be there. So I'm going to go into the experiences in my life, because I know it works. I know everything that I'm going to tell you absolutely works, because I've been there, I've done it, and it has worked for me. So a good thing that we talked about quantum physics, positive thinking, law of attraction, because all of this plays into being able to love yourself. The very first step, and you're not going to want to do this, I guarantee it. Everybody that I talk to about getting to the point where they love themselves, they always back out of this. But the very first thing that you need to do is you need to recollect. You need to distinguish the time in your life when you started doubting yourself. When did you lose that child that you once were? When was it that somebody convinced you that you were not good enough? You can even distinguish who it was, and that will help you too. Was it in elementary? Was it in middle school? Was it your first heartbreak? Was it even your parents? It is super painful, super painful to look back at this and relive the memories. But a good friend always tells me, you must walk through the fires of hell to come out to the light. And I've seen it. You have to. It's not going to be easy. I've done this so many times with myself, with my healing process, and it's been proven to me. You do have to go through the depths of hell to be able to see the light, to be able to know where to go next, to be able to see who you're truly worth. So, once you have felt or once you have identified the time in your life that you were told that you were not worthy, when you were not good enough, when you're not what everybody else wanted you to be, then you can move on to the next step. Okay? This is another hard one for a lot of people to start practicing. I actually didn't have anybody tell me to do this, but I knew I had to do this for myself. Any of you out there that are codependent, this is going to help you. Also, even if you're not codependent, which if you don't love yourself, you usually do come with, hold on, my screen's not straight. Usually when you don't love yourself, you do come with codependency at the same time, which puts a damper on relationships, it puts a damper on friendships, it puts a damper on business. I mean, really, it does affect everything if you want to believe it or not. So the next step is you have to take time for solitude. You have to spend time by yourself. You have to take yourself out on dates. And at the beginning, you have to do that more often than not. I'm not saying that you can never be around friends or family or anything like that, but it is very important that you take time out for you, because they're not going to be able to appreciate the new you. You're not going to be able to appreciate the new you until you do that. And the reason that that's so important is because you can't have an outside influence. That's what it all has come down to. That's the way our society is everybody else is telling you how to be. And at some point, all of us break and start actually believing it. That's the way we're supposed to be, and it's not. You're supposed to be your own self-individual. Who cares what anybody thinks? If you lose friends because you're not who you once were, fine. Because they're not meant for you. The reason they loved you is because you didn't love you and they don't love themselves, and you are all in pain together. So what is that going to do? Again, it's going to attract those negative experiences into your life, those negative people, and it's just going to continue. So you have to stop. You have to take yourself out on dates. Go to the movies by yourself. Go to dinner by yourself. Buy yourself some flowers. You can even have them sent to you. Who cares what people think? Just take some time out for you. It's really, really healthy. Not just that it's good to learn to love yourself, but it's really healthy to have that time for thoughts, because when you're constantly with other people, are you really thinking properly? Do you really see what's going on around you? Do you really see how people are treating you? No, you get caught up. And then that's when trouble starts brewing, because you don't even notice what's going on at all. I'm going to move this again. Hopefully this will be the last time. Okay. So, So take yourself out on dates. A couple other things that I did for myself was, if there was a wedding, if there was a night that everybody was going dancing, or if my friends wanted to go to the fair or whatever, it got to the point where I started meeting up with them, just because I didn't want to be stuck in a situation where I didn't have control over what would happen to me if anything bad went wrong. I'm not saying that I had horrible friends, but I did have certain circumstances where I was put in situations and I wanted to go home and I couldn't. Well, if you treat yourself properly, if you start to love yourself, if you go with your own car, you're not put in those different situations. So that's another thing, you know. Let's see. Also, I stopped going to events that all of my friends felt like I should go to. If I wanted to go, fine. But it used to be to the point where people would be like deciding for me where I want to go. Now, I don't like to decide what I want to eat. I don't. I'll get that out there. But I don't like people deciding on what I want to do, what is best for me, where I want to go. So, you know, I really was controlled in that situation. But now I'm doing things that I want to do. I go where I want to go. I see who I want to see. And I do what I want to do. Like rollerblading is a huge one. Dancing, if I want to go dancing by myself, I will. I mean, even if my friends aren't going, I'll still go if it's good music, which usually my friends are only cool, so they're usually there, but not on purpose. But I remembered the things that I liked to do when I was little. You know, go rollerblading. I went dancing. I like scenic walks, you know, going to the park and taking walks. I like scenic drives. I like to take drives just to go look at the forest up in the mountains, or just, my God, if I could, I would drive to different states just to go see the scene, go see the environment, you know. And once, I mean, before my heart was broken and before I tried to please everyone else, that's what I like to do. And now I'm doing them again. And yes, I am to the point where I don't need somebody in my life every day. I haven't had anybody in my life today except for my son this morning, and it's fabulous. You know, I have a week at a time where I'll just take the time off and be all by myself. The weeks that I don't have my kids, except for maybe go dancing for a night. Because it is so nice. It helps you meditate. It helps you recognize what's going on in your life, what's important. I love it. So, like I said, if your friends want to also do the things with you, that's perfect. You have the right people in your life. But you want friends that are going to help bring out that child in you, because that's who we truly are. Now, this is just the beginning. I'm not done. This is probably, well, this is the longest video that I've made yet, because, like I said, I had so much information for it. So the next step is positive affirmation. So what I love to do is, if you could see, this orange strip, it says, "Be loved now." I actually got that at a festival, a music festival that I was at with my friends, and where it's a rainbow, and everybody leaves a quote and you take a quote. And it's so funny because that was the one right above my head, and I just picked it. Well, love likes to surround my life, so I'm pretty lucky in that way. But let me give you another example. I'll share with you, okay? So here's a little bit about my life. And my bathroom is dirty, but see all these pictures right there? those are the little pictures that I post on my personal Facebook. And the ones that really stick out for me that are self-love, I always put those around my mirror, and I'll change them out every couple months, because it does help. It's just the quantum physics, the positive thinking. It really does help change your life, because you're going to start believing what you tell yourself. And that's the problem, is we start believing what everybody tells us because they're like, oh, you're not worthy, you're not good enough. Well, switch that around. Tell yourself that you're worthy. Tell yourself that you're good enough. And it will start making a difference. I mean, my favorite quote that I said at the beginning of the time, right now it's on my bedroom light, you know, and I actually switch that around every couple months, because of the fact that I don't want to get too used to it being there, and then I'll just not look at it. But if I switch it around, then I'll notice it more. Plus, it's awesome because you can actually share it with people that come inside your home. They'll see it, and maybe it'll start being a positive influence for them, which is a great way to help others. So, let's see. Yeah, by the way, I just go to Walgreens and post the 3x5s. They work perfectly because they're so little. Sorry, I have to go through this. Okay, so examples of where I like to put them in my home. Obviously at my light switch, on my walls, in my bathroom, bordering my mirrors. I like to keep them on the fridge. Sometimes they're in the living room. You know, you can really put them anywhere where it's a high traffic area for you. Just because that's where you want to put them, where you're going to be the most. My favorite quote, my one spot that it was at for a long, long time was actually at the front door, where I would lock my door and unlock it. But I started to get used to it and stopped paying attention to it. So, let's see. Okay, so I've already gone through this a little bit, but it's going to go into how it's going to work. The reason this is so important, and by the way, everything I'm reading is mine. I just don't remember everything I'm trying to talk about. The reason it's so important is because it's playing in your life with the quantum physics, the positive thinking, the law of attraction. You are what you start thinking. If you ask, you believe, and you believe, you will receive. Quantum physics, why don't you get that 71% of your body of water to believe that you are worthy, that you are a great person, that you are love, that you are exactly what you are supposed to be without any external influence. That's the most important part. And sooner or later, you know, you're gonna become it. You're gonna understand that that's you. That is really you. So, when you start to switch your thinking, an amazing thing will happen. You'll start to realize that the real you is amazing. You will realize that the real you is love. Then you'll start to attract love. You'll attract better friends, and maybe other friends that had left you in your life before, but they started having self-love too. In return, people who have been hurtful in your life, they're going to go away, because you're going to be on a different vibration with them. And we'll talk about vibrations another day, but you're going to be on a different vibration for them. And they're going to be like, wow, she's too bubbly. She's too happy. He's too bubbly. He's too happy. I can't be their friend anymore because I don't feel that way, and it's overwhelming for me. So it's going to be a hurtful process. But what's more important? You've got to love yourself first. You have to love yourself first. And then you can also have compassion for the ones that don't. And you'll know how to help other people. So, your life will be more positive. with positive people surrounding you and supporting you, and that's what really matters to me. So I hope this video has helped you. Again, you can always find my group page on Facebook at Mystic Miracles Transformation, and you can also go and subscribe to my channel on YouTube, Mystic Miracles Transformation, and you can always email me at mysticmiracles81@gmail.com. You're always welcome to email me any questions or any topics that you would like to talk about. I do have a long list, so I'll probably tell you when I'm going to talk about them because of the fact that I put them in a sequence, as you can tell, for a reason. But I hope you have an excellent week, and I'll talk to you next Monday. Bye!